Hello, grade 10. Okay, so let's run through this quickly. So we got a parallelogram. So let's draw classic. Let's make our parallelogram look like this. So it's got parallel sides, and then it looks like that. And you're given a few of the coordinates. So you're given maybe that this is, let's keep it all in the first quadrant. 2, 3, this one's clearly a little bit higher, so this bit is 4, it's a whole lot further along, so it's at 6. You're given, let's go for, given this one, and this is going to be like the C that you said you wanted to find out. So this is between 2 and thing, let's call it 5. So definitely not to scale, and it's going to be up, it can be anywhere up there, so we're going to call that 10. So we need to find out what are those coordinates. Now here's how we look at it. This distance, so if we compare these opposite sides must be the same length. Now we just look at the x values to start with. So we're saying let's just look at the x values and go, well, the kind of the x distance, so just the x component of the distance, so just that bit there, going from 2 to 6, the x length, if that makes sense, is 4. So therefore this x length must be 4. So now if we go from 5, we need to add our x length of 4 to get to 9. So that length on the bottom is the same as the length on the top, because with a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal as well as parallel. And then it's the same logic for the y values. So the y, this length here, if we're just looking at the y length, kind of something I'm coining here. So the y length of this line is 1. So, I mean, we could draw this as a triangle and this distance here is 1, but let's just call it this kind of this idea of the y length. The difference between that and that must be the same as this side here. So, I'm getting all excited here. So the y length here must also be 1. So the y length, how far up it's gone between this point and this point, must be the same as from this point to this point. So from 10 we must go up by 1, so it must be 11. And there we go. Now as a second or the same way, but let's confirm this. So that's all you need, but let's just confirm it. Let's look at it in terms of this line and this line. Let's look at the x length. I'm just going to call it XL. The x length of this. So from this point to this point. Now, because that's what this side joins. This point and this point. Could have labeled them A and B or something. The x length goes from 2 to 5. So the x length is 3. So the x length from this up to here. Hey, notice how it's also 3. So it works out. And finally, let's look at this line again, the same line, and the opposite side. Let's look at it kind of what I'm calling the y length, this informal thing. Well, this is between these 2 points. So we're going from this point to this point. And can you see the y length is 7? So it should be the same for this one here. So from 4 up to 11. Notice how it's also 7. Okay, hopefully that's somewhat helpful. Let me finish up, upload this so I can send it through to you. No, whoopsie, wrong button.